Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, across all platforms. This is the Gaming Tangents Podcast. Woohoo! Yes, the only podcast guaranteed not to have any microtransactions. That is a fact. You can look that up.
Actually, that's something I need to talk to you about.
Oh no. Under new management. That's right. This is the official podcast of the cross-platform, very soon to come, YouTube Gaming History Retrospective Something or Other show. I am your host, Menji.
And I am Maverick.
How are you doing, sir?
I don't even know where to start. It's been a crazy week, but I will tell you a funny story that happened to me on Friday, actually.
I'll go with funny. All right. It's not an April Fool's story, is it?
Actually, well, an unintentional April Fool's on myself.
All right, I'll allow it.
I had everything ready. You know, student loans aren't working with me, so they have to work around me. And so I told them, okay, well, I will have my payments at the end of the month when I get my paycheck. And I was like, Friday came along. I'm like, oh, cool. It's payday and everything. So I start, I'm sitting there. I'm literally sitting at my computer at 2 a.m. This is when it goes in. And nothing's gone in. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll give it another 10 minutes. Okay, nothing. Another 10 minutes. Nothing. And so I'm like, what's going on? And so I looked at my bank account. And I saw that, you know, I get paid bi-weekly. I looked at my bank account and I saw that I got paid last week, and somehow I lost track of this.
Oh no!
Yeah, so I have money, but then that's kind of like my seed money, whatnot, in case, you know, not for situations like this.
Like a super rainy day fund.
Exactly. And yeah, at that, I had to end up having to borrow money that I had to pay back with my paycheck next week. And I thought I was just laughing at myself because, like, how this entire month in my head, I had it that I was getting paid April 1st.
Oh, man.
I was like, oh, the joke's on me, you know.
You punked yourself.
I promised my son I was going to take him to see Batman vs. Superman, and I was going to take him to dinner, which I took him to dinner tonight. And so I'm trying to, like, kind of squeeze, you know, penny pinch as much as I can this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like maybe if the reviews are any indication, you were just trying to save yourself from almost 3 hours that you would never get back.
Well, I don't know. I'm hearing mixed things, and you know me, I'm the one who's partial to things. Although I'm
not.
Oh, I know you're not.
Oh no, that's not what I'm not hearing mixed things.
Oh, you're just.
I'm hearing that there are mixed things out there, but I have yet to hear anything but bad reviews.
Yeah.
And so far, everybody that I look to for their reviews, whose opinions usually sway, like mine, not so favorable, and they're all saying the same things. And I don't mean just like generalizations. I mean, they're all saying very specific criticisms that are all exactly the same. And none of these people are related to each other as far as shows are concerned.
Wow.
So that worries me. So I think I've already had quite a bit of it spoiled for me because I stopped caring. And from what I've heard, I was like, yeah, I'm going to just wait to watch it for the fight scenes pretty much. And
right. I still want to see it. My son's kind of anxious to see it. So I was like, okay, well.
Mine wants to go too until I heard, but then I heard it was almost 3 hours. And I'm like, they're not going to sit through that. There's no way they're going to sit through a 3-hour movie.
It's quite possible. I know that.
It is. It's a little over 2.5 hours, they said.
My son slept through Winter Soldier, and he was so anxious to see that movie. And then halfway through the movie, at the best part, like that whole freeway chase scene, he fell asleep.
Oh, no.
It didn't help that I took him at 8 in the evening, and at that time he was going to bed early. So, yeah.
That is my kid's bedtime.
Yeah, so that didn't help, but still, but I did see a DC movie today, Justice League versus Teen Titans.
That was a movie?
Yeah, it's an DC animated movie. It's out.
I thought it was a. Mm-hmm.
It's out digitally, but the physical disc comes out, I believe, on the 18th. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched it and I liked it. My only problem is that I don't know how. I know, thanks to me, you follow the DC animated movies. But if you remember when they first started out, every movie was different from each other. No two movies looked the same. You know, there was always a different look, and I kind of like that. In that sense, it was consistent in the sense that they tried to make every movie different. Then...
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was always that the covers looked way different than the actual movie did.
Well, it depends on what you watched. For example, if you watched Batman, Superman, Public Enemies, it really tried to follow the comic book, the artistic style of the comic book. And then the sequel, Batman, Superman, Apocalypse, which is actually, you know, the graphic novel is called Supergirl, because it is a Supergirl movie. That tried to follow the art style of that comic. So it was very interesting, but I mean, like, it tried to follow different styles of the comic book as close as possible. And then I think with the first movie they did this with, there was Justice League Crisis on Two Earths, which is my favorite, well, my second favorite of the Justice League movies. Or of the animated Justice League movies. And then came Justice League Doom, which used the same art style. I'm like, oh, okay, so it's a sequel to the other one. Okay, cool. Then was it Flashpoint Paradox? Well, no. Flashpoint Paradox came out, and it was probably, you know, which, in my opinion, is the best Justice League animated movie out there right now. So if you haven't seen it, check it out.
It was a good one.
They kind of started this thing. They started going the Marvel Cinematic Universe route. At the ending, they had one of the... What do they call them again? The name slips my mind at the moment, but... what do you call it? The after credits scene?
Post-credit scene.
Post-credit scenes, thank you. It had a promotion for the next Justice League movie, which was going to be Justice League War. Which I read was supposed to... The events of Flashpoint Paradox was supposed to set that movie in motion, but then they still just made it its own thing. So that made no sense to me.
Wow, I must not have sat through the credits.
Right, it's at the very end.
I definitely didn't sit through the credits.
Right, and then... So ever since the next movie, Justice League War, which that one was a terrible movie, I didn't like it.
Oh, no.
Every Justice League movie, and now even the Batman movies that followed, I've been following the same, more or less the same art style from what I've seen. I think I haven't seen Gods and Monsters, I think is what it's called. I have it, I just haven't seen it yet. And I haven't seen Batman Bad Blood yet, or Batman versus Robin. But apparently they also follow the same artistic style, and so this one follows suit in that, and I'm a little disappointed because it's now they're all starting to look the same, which I don't mind per se, but that's not how they started out. They actually wanted to do different styles for every movie, and maybe it's a budget saving thing, or maybe they just got tired of it looking different every time. But yeah, it's a little disappointing.
Could be. Yeah, could be any mix of things. It's a lot of work to create a whole new art style and new designs for every single character,
right?
That's out there. Yeah,
right. So but I did see this movie, and I actually... Was it excellent? I wouldn't say it was excellent, but it was a good movie. I mean, there've been very few bad DC animated movies. I will tell you where DC fails in the live action movies. Dark Knight is his exception, and Batman Begins. I don't know about Dark Knight Rises, but anyway, the animated movies excel. Like, they kick Marvel's ass when it comes to animated movies.
Yeah, definitely. Hands down.
So this one, they it was kind of a story about it focused a lot on the Teen Titans. But the thing that annoys me, and this isn't anything about the movie, it's just this has been consistent since Son of Batman. They've been using Damian Wayne, that version of Robin. And
really,
and I cannot stand that character.
Yeah, no.
He's like, it's like, because
nobody could.
You saw Son of Batman, right?
Yeah, I don't remember how long I could sit through it. I think that's one where I fell asleep.
It wasn't the best, but I actually liked that one too.
It starts so slowly.
Yeah, the only one I didn't like was Justice League War, but this movie was just like this character. Oh my god, he's always so. I haven't seen Bad Blood or Son of Batman, Batman versus Robin, like I said, but even I sense almost no character development from the character until maybe this movie.
and even then, from what I heard, he was poorly received in the comics as well. People really didn't like him.
Yeah, I do not like this character. He actually became a little more likable in this movie. And again, like I said, I have to make it clear, I have not seen the other two movies previous to this, but he becomes a little more likable in this movie. But yeah, just seeing that his attitude is more or less the same. And it's like, come on, you mean you've been through 4 movies already, or 5 movies now, and you're still this little stuck-up little prick?
Yeah, so, sounds like the way I've heard him described.
Yeah.
He's just stuck up and obnoxious.
Other than that, the movie itself I thought was pretty good. I was worried because I was like, okay, where's the versus part of this movie? But
that's not going to be the first time you ask yourself that question if you're still going to go see that other movie.
Right.
From what I've heard.
There's one other thing, and I don't know if this was done in the other 2 movies, but it kind of bothered me in this one, is that they started using music, actual not musical score, but like music tracks. Yeah. It really felt like a teeny movie at one point, and I'm like, okay, they're using 2. I think there was 3 songs, maybe. It could be wrong. It could be 2 songs, but they definitely used some actual licensed music this time around, and I thought that was weird because I'd not seen that in one of the animated movies yet.
Maybe that's where all that extra movie for art design's going, is to paying copyrights for songs.
It seemed kind of. I get, okay. It made sense for the scene it was in, but then they use a second song, and I think that's where I was like, okay, this is getting a bit too much. It's like a scene where they're trying to play a Dance Dance Revolution type game, which why they're still using Dance Dance Revolution at this point in time, I don't know, because it seems kind of irrelevant now.
Probably when they started production, it was still around.
Well, then they must have started about 10 years ago.
It might have been. I don't know. Yeah, kids still playing DDR? Leave us a comment. Let us know.
I see it around, but I don't see people playing it anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
So yeah, it was just it seemed kind of silly, but other than that, like I said, it was pretty good, and not the best movie out there, not the worst. But I do recommend it.
Yeah, maybe I'll check it out if given the opportunity. We will see.
There will be blood.
There will be blood. Rated R.
Yes.
Starts Friday everywhere. Cool. Right. Anything else going on?
No, that's really just about it. I haven't really had time to play any games, not even the games on my phone. I've just been super busy just with work and trying to get all my personal issues resolved and whatnot. So It's been a bit of a crazy week, and which is funny because on a whim today, didn't have any money. I found the Order. What was that game? Order 1886. Yeah, it was like on sale for like $10. So I was like, oh, sure, why not?
Student loans, Order 1886. Well,
right. Well, I paid my student loans, so and I had enough money left over for that.
I see. Alrighty.
$10 versus how much is it now? I don't even know.
I don't know. I haven't bought a game in a while. Well, I guess I've bought digital games lately more than anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's pretty much what's been going on lately.
Yeah. All
What
right.
about you?
What about me? Haven't really played much of anything new. I've been working hard at getting the podcasts set up so that I can put them out on YouTube. So look for that soon, people. Guys, listeners, whatever you call yourselves, the tangenters, platties, the cross platties.
You know, I had a name picked out and I can't even think about it.
Oh, we'll find out and we'll put it on a shirt.
Sure.
Definitely. Whenever that happens.
Our platformers. That's what it was. The
Platformers. Oh. Like platypuses.
Yeah, platypus. Our parries.
Platformers. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's that as well.
Sorry.
That's why you're here. See, I knew there was a reason we had you on the show.
No, I mean that was a name I was thinking of. You know, because I'm like watching other people and what they call it, like let's call it Gabby's show. She has showstoppers, and then oh Jesus Christ, I lost my thought on who else had what, but that's the one that comes to mind. She calls things. They have their little names for their right. Audience.
The Weekly Planet has the Weekly Wackadadoos. That's one of my more favorite ones.
Right. So yeah, I think platforms will be appropriate. I mean, sounds
good.
This is
anyways.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, so anyways, yeah. So now you guys will be able to listen to them on YouTube. You can leave comments on the YouTube, and watching on YouTube may even afford us a little bit of extra scratch that we can put towards making things even better for this show, cross-platform show, and all of that. And I'm also going to put them out. I'm going to put all the episodes on there. So if anybody's been steadily listening to us on SoundCloud, you'll notice that we've skipped a few numbers here and there, and that's mostly due to the fact that we have a huge backlog of episodes that we never uploaded, and I'm going to save those for certain weeks where we're not just going to be able to record, and so we'll have like little filler episodes. But on YouTube, I'm just going to throw them all out there at a go. So if you want to hear those episodes, you can jump over on YouTube and listen to them there, or just wait for some week when we take a vacation.
Is that
the show that we do for free?
Yeah. Oh wait, what about those microtransactions we were talking about?
Oh right, yeah. Let's get into those. No, so I guess I have something big coming up, which I'll probably be talking about for the next couple of podcasts.
Oh, what's that? Or is it a secret?
No, it's not a secret. As hopefully you know, I would assume you know, you damn well better know, my birthday's coming up, and so I've decided for my birthday this year to make the long trek all the way down to San Jose area to go to Dave & Buster's with my family. That's what I want to do.
Wait. Your birthday's this month?
I am going to shoot you through the internet. Hard.
Okay. No, Dave & Buster's. Yeah, we actually have one near here. You should come here and we can go to Dave & Buster's.
That's even further than the one that's already closest to me.
3,000 miles is not far.
It's not, as the crow flies, but I'm not a crow. So I think I'm just going to go to the one over here in Milpitas. And
you say you don't think you're a crow, but okay.
It's perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. I've had my tests done, I know. I'm all right. Yeah, no, the only other thing that's really been going on with me gaming-wise, which will lead us into our first topic, actually, is last couple of days I've been trying out Nintendo's new MiiTomo app.
How's
that? So, I mean, it's a cute little time waster. It's basically just, yet another communication app. but I think it does a fairly good job of doing what it is Nintendo wanted it to do, which is what everybody's been telling them they need to do for the longest time, is kind of keep the brand in mind, even when you're not playing games. Mm-hmm. The Nintendo brand, and so it does a really good job of that. So it's basically like is it a MiiTomo app on DSi as well? Is it called
no.
MiiTomo? There's a similar app on there where like create your own Mii, but it's not like the Wii Mii Creator.
It's on the 3DS. I don't know about the DSi though.
Or 3DS maybe. Is it called MiiTomo?
No, it's not called MiiTomo. It's just the Mii Maker. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know because I barely ever use it.
Right. It's similar to that. It's not as robust as I never used Mii Maker, but I had the Wii. So it's not as robust as the Wii Creator on the Wii. But it is pretty neat in the fact that it'll use your camera. And so if you can kind of focus your selfie camera on your face straight on, it'll make a whole bunch of preset faces for you, kind of like judging your features and trying to make a character for you. And so you can just hold it there, and like every 3 seconds, it'll keep spewing out a new version of your face. And then you can go through all those different faces that it's made and choose one that's closest to you, and then kind of adjust it from there.
Yeah, the Wii U and the 3DS do have that feature where it'll try to create a version of you that way.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, I gotta wonder if maybe this is to kind of stop things like people were doing on the Wii, where people were making faces that were definitely not faces. Like I remember I had some guy's Mii on my Wii, and his head looked like Pac-Man eating a ghost. Like, it was really well done, but it definitely didn't look like a person's face. Yeah. And I'm guessing, like, there's no way you could do that here. Well, maybe you could, I guess, if there's a way to just opt to not use the camera option. I didn't even try that. I don't know. I was just doodling around with it. I have no idea.
Well, I don't know how it is on MiiTomo. I actually just downloaded it today. And I was able to just transfer my character in from the existing ID that I have.
Yeah, so you can do that too. But again, I didn't have Mii Maker, so that didn't work for me. So I had to make one from scratch.
It would also work from your other Wii account, I would assume. But then again,
I don't know. I had a Japanese Wii, so I just gave up. None of my emails were associated with a Nintendo account, so I may have never made one.
I see. That makes sense.
It was fine. I was just like, I'll leave it. And if anything, now I can transfer the Mii that I've made in MiiTomo into the 3DS or the NX or whatever the hell comes next. If that feature is still available, if they're still going to even bother with Mii's. I'd hope they will, I guess, at this point, because they're just now coming out with this damn app. And it sounds like Wii U's on the outs.
It wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense to not have the Mii's if they're going to do that. I mean,
no.
That's like, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and bring out this brand new app that's not going to connect to our new system whatsoever.
Yeah, so the way the app runs, it's kind of similar to something you would have seen on the Wii, like one of those weird channels where your Mii just kind of does stuff.
Right.
So you get your Mii in there. You can dress it up, of course, and with all these little costumes and things. It'll actually talk, which I think is neat.
Really?
Yeah, it actually has word text-to-speech recognition, so it'll try to speak. You can adjust your voice so that every Mii's got its own different sounding voice to include intonation, speed, and pitch, and all these kinds of things. So everybody's voice sounds unique to them. The way your character acts, you can actually give it a personality, so the way it reacts to things is different from other Mii's. And then it just kind of wanders around in its own little room, its own little itty-bitty Japanese room. And it'll ask you questions, and if you answer those questions, you'll get coins. Other friends will come and visit your room, and they'll ask you questions. You can comment on other people's answers to the questions that they answered. You can make little photos. I don't know if you saw the one that I uploaded.
Actually, I did.
And I'm sure you've been seeing other people upload them too. So
you
that's,
know what? Funny
that's
enough,
kind of fun. I actually kind of like that. You basically can make your own little meme to make a pun. Did you see what I did there?
Yeah.
Meme.
Yeah, I get it.
All right. Just want to make sure.
I haven't used it. I'm actually taking a small break from Facebook this week. I think I picked the wrong week to do it, considering everything that was bestowed to me this week. But once I get back on there, I'll be pushing said bestowed upon item, and also this me platform thing, MiiTomo, whatever. Yeah. I got to figure it out, because for a moment I forgot my Nintendo Network ID, and I was using the one that I had put in simply for the Wii U, and I forgot that it's actually my handle. It's Maverick Zero. So I was like, oh yeah, that's right. How could I forget that?
Whew, that's close. Yeah, because they got some weird thing, like once you link them to your MiiTomo amp, you can't unlink them or some weird thing. So you dodged a bullet there. That was close. So that's a weird thing. I don't know why they do that.
I don't know. I can see why they do it, but it's too complex. Sometimes Nintendo likes to be difficult.
Yeah, of course, and they do.
As we discussed,
they be difficult here too. A few things that I was surprised at. Your character can swear if you write out a swear word. I've tested it.
Nice.
And you can also just upload your own pictures from your phone. So people can pretty much post any lewd pictures that they have on their phone as a comment on your words. So if you do have kids that you think might want to use this app, I would be wary. It does ask you for your birth date at the beginning, so I don't know if choosing a younger birth date will affect whether or not your me reads out swear words or not.
I honestly hope they get that fixed, because if you recall a few years ago, Nintendo had this program called, I think it was Flipnote, that they had on the 3DS. And in Japan, this actually happened in Japan, I believe. They was it Flipnote or was it something else? I think it was Flipnote, and they were something about an 11-year-old child being used for to draw sexual images or something like that, or I think they were even using images of the child himself. And Nintendo, rather than patch the program or anything like that, they just got rid of it altogether. I'd have to look it up, but I know that they got rid of the program altogether due to something involving an 11-year-old child. So hopefully they'll get that fixed. I know they're not fixing it. As far as I know, they haven't fixed the problem in Super Smash Brothers, where there's a level where you can actually draw images in the background and they'll show up in the background. And some people are doing some pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they have anything in place for if people start posting inappropriate pictures or whatnot. So far, everybody I have on my friends list on MiiTomo, they're all just like real nerdy people. So far I haven't seen anything too bad. I've seen people say some bad things. And by bad I mean just inappropriate for like youngsters and stuff.
Right.
People with high moral consciousnesses. But I can see the possibility there for people to kind of start abusing that. So I don't know if they have any safeguards in place or not for that. But again, that being said, the way that you make friends on there, the easiest way that you do friends on that is you just link your Facebook and Twitter accounts, and anybody else that's linked their Facebook or Twitter account to their own MiiTomo, they'll show up as a suggested friend on your suggested friends list, and then you can add them from there. And then there's just like this 1 degree of separation thing that you can do. So friends of friends, you can send an invite to as well. And then there's a way where you can like link up with just kind of people you meet out and about. It has this weird thing where like if you both have MiiTomo on your phone, you can kind of like friend each other that way as well.
Like automatically?
Or like you both... it's like no, you gotta like actually like specifically hit like it gives you like these 4 suits of card suits on the phone, and it says push the same symbol on both phones at the same time. So I'm assuming that they think that nobody will ever be pushing one of these exact same buttons at the same time as somebody else anywhere in the world. Because it doesn't sound like it works like with NFC or anything like that. So I'm not sure how that works. If you could just sit there spamming the heart and eventually just link up with somebody else in the world who was hitting heart at that exact same time.
I know that
it's not really quite explained.
I know that with the 3DS, like if you have it on sleep mode, it'll automatically like you'll automatically become friends with somebody, and like you'll go to the Mii Plaza, and you'll have like a line of people waiting for you there, and they'll be like, "Hi, I'm so and so from so and so. I'm currently playing this," and then they'll have like some little catchphrase at the end. Somehow Reggie Fils-Aimé got into my onto my 3DS.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no Street Pass or anything like that.
Right.
But there's a couple other features. Not really though. It's mostly there's like some little games that you can play to like little pachinko games that you can play to earn more costumes, and you can just buy costumes. There is microtransactions in there to get more coins to spend stuff in their stupid little store if you want, but you honestly don't have to. If you want to just have the patience to earn coins in game, you can do that too.
Right. Well, I mean, that's good at least, you know, they're not like forcing it on you, you know. I know that
no.
I know that there's you know those claw machines?
Yeah. It's called a claw machine.
Yeah, there's a special name for it on the 3DS that they have, and you get when you initially get it, you get 5 credits that you can use, and you can pick out stickers or whatnot. But then after that, you have to pay to be able to get more, and they like Nintendo. I won't say they jumped the gun, but they like had everything prepped already. They were like, well, why do you have to spend money? Well, this is why we have to do it. Because people have to do, and they have this cute little bunny that's explaining everything, and then people work hard for this, and they have to make money to feed their families.
Well,
and
that makes it better.
Oh my god, it was just one long-winded explanation.
I feel bad now because the bunny is telling me, should I give it money?
Right.
Poor little rabbit.
I used it for the first 5 stickers they offered me, and I haven't used it since.
I have no idea. I've never had interest in in-game stickers.
Yeah, I don't know what the point is. I mean, it makes sense on Wii. You know, they have ways of commenting on like of course, let's go back to Mario Maker. You can comment on how you like people's levels and whatnot, and so you can use these stamps. You know, these Super Mario stamps or whatnot, or you can just write on there, or you can type
so they
out
act
something.
kind of like emojis.
Kinda,
Okay.
sorta.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, like they'll have like, you know, you can have like Mario attacking Bowser and then doing something that doesn't make sense. It's hilarious.
Interesting. Yeah. So I mean, aside from that, like, so you'll just get asked these random questions throughout the day. Like, what is your favorite food? What were you just doing a few minutes ago? Who are you in love with right now? And blah, blah. And you just answer those questions, and it'll share those answers with your other friends. Sometimes it'll ask you to answer questions about specific friends on your list. And that's it. I mean, aside from it's a different take on, you know, another communication app. And so outside of that, it doesn't really do anything. I don't know if there's any plan for it to kind of link into other stuff in the future. I would assume so, because it just started. But for the time being, it's just a stupid little time waster. But it does do, like I said at the beginning of this, what Nintendo's needed for a long time, what people have been telling them. It just kind of keeps the Nintendo brand in mind when you're away from home. Which kind of, well, this kind of keep going. Because Nintendo, this is a big deal, because Nintendo up until now has been super hesitant to get into the game market, and I think the same is pretty much true for all the major console publishers. I don't think I've ever really seen much Sony hasn't put out much. Microsoft didn't start putting out things until Xbox had that synergy with the Windows App Store.
Microsoft, I know that. Okay, Microsoft, I know they have the Xbox app so that you can access your live account and whatnot through the phone. Same thing with PlayStation Network. You can access
and on Windows 10 now. I have an Xbox account now, apparently, with a username that I can't change for some reason, just because of Windows 10. I've never owned an Xbox in my life. But
yeah, that was what to say. That's pretty funny considering you're pretty anti-Xbox.
But I have to have it. But it's fine. What I like about it is that it comes with a game capture software loaded onto it, which is how I'm getting most of my capture footage is from that thing.
Nice.
So it didn't cost me any extra money. But
nice.
yeah, I mean, I don't think I've made like an avatar or anything, but it gave me some weird random name, and I'm just like, whatever, I don't care.
Well, if you have an Xbox Live account, you can add me. I'll tell you my name later because I'm not ready to share it now.
All right.
I don't know if I'm ready for thousands of people on my friends list if we have thousands of people listening.
Oh my gosh! Well, the cross-platform influx.
All right, exactly. Hey, come on! We're on episode 10 now. I mean, we're celebrating our 10th episode, and
welcome to episode 10, ladies and gentlemen. This is the cross-platform.
Hence the microtransactions. You know, we've become big now. I say we're more popular than the Beatles. You know.
Oh. Drop the mic.
Yeah, mic drop. Mic drop, except if you're Gmail.
Yeah. April Fools.
Did you hear about
never mind. Not April Fools. Sorry.
Did you hear about that and how many people lost their jobs over it?
I don't know about people losing their jobs. That was probably equally an April Fool's
It could be.
joke. I'm sure that was equally an April Fool's joke, but because nobody's going to use the mic drop at work.
Are that anal, so.
No, it is. You couldn't fire anybody over that. But I heard a lot of people got in trouble over it, though.
Yeah.
They had issues. Yeah, that was that. Yeah, that was. I'm sure that sounded funny on paper to them. I'm sure, but implementation not so much. Just because it's April Fool's doesn't mean people need to stop doing important emails. Yeah. So Nintendo. Oh, cracked my arm. Nintendo. Finally jumping into the mobile market after years of people saying, what the heck is wrong with you?
Right.
Put your games on mobile already. And there's following suit of a lot of third-party publishers have been doing this for a while. Obviously, a lot of companies like Ubisoft and EA will make mobile versions of their games. Capcom just announced that they're going to start doing mobile versions of games.
Oh, don't they already?
No, these will be official Capcom mobile games.
Oh, they're going to be originally.
That's where your next Mega Man game's going to be. It's on a phone.
Are you serious?
Oh, you didn't see me post that on the Facebook page, did you?
I saw some kind of post, but again, it was during this crazy week, so it didn't even faze me.
You're excused. Yeah. Oh, okay. So, yeah. So I'd seen an article on my phone. The headline was cut off to the point where I just read, publisher Capcom will start making games for ... And I was like, oh, it's mobile, isn't it? It's mobile. It's mobile, isn't it? And I open it up, and it says smartphones. And I'm like, son of a...
Wow.
I knew it.
Why smartphones? I mean, didn't they learn their lesson from Mega Man Crossover?
Oh man,
and,
I didn't read too deeply into the article. It was actually pretty long, so I don't know if they're actually going to be porting games to it or if they're just going to be using those licenses to make brand new games, like Mega Man Drop or something. But I don't want to play games like that with touch controls. I hate touch controls. For like action games, for like console games, when they put them on mobile and they have touch controls, like I hate it. They always go up when I want to go left and
they have
down when I want to jump.
They have special controllers for that, but the game has to be compatible. I don't know if they still make them or not.
I don't buy anything extra for that. No, thank you.
Oh yeah, I mean, why is? I mean, it's for a phone, and I get games, little games like Pac-Man 256. That's fine. because that was originally made and whatnot. But then, like, okay, I mean, they do have. I don't know if it's on Android, but I know that they have Mega Man 2 on iPhone. Mm-hmm. That is one horrid mess. Like,
oh man!
Like the controls are like when he jumps, it's like you're jumping in air. Jumping on air. He jumps so slow and he floats, and the bullets.
It's more like jumping underwater.
Pretty much. Which, now that I think about it, I would hate to see what Bubble Man stage is like on that game.
Double water, jumping through Jello. Jello Man stage.
Pretty much.
Extra pimentos.
Well.
So. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it's like with all I've seen so many games you would see on consoles ported over to phone, and they don't work the same. I've seen a few work. The Sonic games, Sonic 4 and what was the other one? Sonic CD. They're not too bad. I've actually gotten pretty far on Sonic CD without any problems. But I mean, that's your simple run and jump game,
Right.
But then I played a game like Street Fighter or even King of Fighters on the Android, and it's just garbage, Oh, they're so hard to control.
Oh man. Yeah. So I mean, I've never been a big fan. I'm not really sure. I think Nintendo's always been guarded with their licenses after being screwed so many times in the past. So it was always kind of understandable, their hesitancy. I got that. But so I mean, how do you feel about this? So it's not anything new now, right? We all got these stupid mini computers in our pockets now, that we can't stop looking at. Do you play mini games on your phone?
Well, first of all,
are you looking at your phone right now?
I'm not looking at my phone right now.
Please stop. Turn towards the mic.
I'm sorry. What did you say? I was looking at my phone. No. No.
Someone's tweeting at me.
I've unfortunately I'm in that habit of looking down at my phone every time someone texts me or whatnot. I'm really trying to break that habit now, because especially
takes a long time. Trust me.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, it is so difficult, and I'm the worst offender when it comes to that. I will say that is a flaw of mine, which I'm really trying to correct. I need to start. I don't do it all the time, but like when I'm like at a dinner or something like that, I'll put my phone on mute and just turn it off, or not turn it off and just put it down and then not really think about it. But I also, like, when I'm not with like my son or something, then I feel like I at least have to keep it on vibrate because there's an emergency. I need to get a hold. Which is funny because I think about that, back in the day when, here we go again, when we didn't have cell phones, how did we even deal with that? How do we get by without that? We just wait till we got home, then we heard all the bad news.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah, but as far as outside of that, though, like mobile gaming, I usually tend to do it when, like, for example, as you know, my job requires me to come home late, which that's going to change here soon. And so depending on the day and how everything plays out, sometimes I get hungry, and so I'm eating at like 3 a.m, and I can't go to bed right out the bat, So I'll like put the television show on, something I may have seen before, or I'll catch up on Supergirl or Once Upon a Time because I love those shows. But if it's like something I'm just playing in the background, then I'll put on my phone and I'll start playing like Pac-Man, or sometimes I'll play Sonic, or But then those are games that succeed in capturing my attention. Sonic, only because it's one of the easier games to play on there, but Pac-Man because it's made for a phone like that. Yeah. But I have Final Fantasy V, and you know how I feel about Final Fantasy V. It's my favorite Final Fantasy game out of all the 16-bit games. which they upgraded the graphics, and I don't know how I feel about them. But anyways, that's besides the point. I got through maybe the intro before I was like, I can't play this. Like, I'm not. I believe it or not.
Because of the graphics?
Not because so much of the graphics, just because I am so used to playing it on a console that it just doesn't feel the same. And yeah, the graphics don't really help. And then, you know, it should be. I don't know why I don't feel this way. Maybe it's because I as far as gaming goes, I tend to be a little more old fashioned. But they, you know.
They were better in my day.
Back in my day, we didn't walk in 8 directions in this game.
Handheld games only had 2 colors.
Right.
And it used the lights to move them around. You play the same level over and over again.
If only we could remember that Cranky Kong speech from the first Donkey Kong Country. But that's beside the point. They just... They changed it enough to where it doesn't feel the same. I mean, even like the fact that I should be happy that you can move in 8 directions in this game now, but I don't.
Because that is weird.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Final Fantasy, you know?
Yeah, I don't know how I'd feel about that. Such a minute thing.
Exactly.
It's a real nerdy thing to get upset about, but it does kind of change the tone. Wow, I didn't know they did that.
Yeah,
what's the point of walking diagonally in a Final Fantasy game?
Well, yeah, and then the graphics, like, they made sense for the PSP when they released Final Fantasy 1 and 2 anniversary editions. Mm-hmm. It made sense for that game, and they've actually ported those versions, I think, to the phone. And the graphics look nice, and the sprites look big and everything, but they didn't do the 8-directional thing, you know? And it was just a more appealing experience because it still felt like Final Fantasy, you know?
Right.
But now that they did this with Final Fantasy 5, they even did it with Final Fantasy 6, and I heard a lot of people hate Final Fantasy 6 on Android.
Oh, so, I never even bothered.
Yeah, well, because I'm sorry.
Go.
So that's what they did. But yeah, I'm more attracted to the games that are actually made for the cell phone because they're like little time killers. But that's about it. The only, as you can see, I'm addicted to a game that probably nobody else talks about. You know.
Which one?
The Pac-Man 256.
Oh, the Pac-Man game.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, that's the one that's really appealing to me right now, and only because, you know, I've always been a big fan of Pac-Man, and it's just, again, same basic gameplay with a whole new experience. You know.
Right. So you bring up a good point, which ties into this whole thing because throughout our planning for this show and our long list of podcasts that we plan to do, I had one idea that I basically labeled as, and apparently nobody likes this title, will Angry Birds be as memorable as Super Mario Brothers? But the core idea of this conversation is, let's think 10 years down the line, will mobile games be as memorable as console games? And I mean, like, the franchises. And I think it's funny that I asked you about your mobile game experience, and every single game that you mentioned off is a franchise that was originally created for consoles.
Right. Or arcade.
So answer that question, and it doesn't have to be specifically about Angry Birds and Mario Brothers, but do you see mobile games right now having the same pop cultural influence 10 years from now as the games that we played as kids still do today?
I think it's a yes and no answer. I unfortunately, I can only think of Angry Birds because I'm not a big mobile phone game player. Angry Birds is probably memorable just because it was the first mobile phone game that became as big as it did. You know, I've seen other games that have come and gone and are like, they try to emulate the popularity of Angry Bird, and some come close, some don't. Some have managed to reach console status. What's another one? Cut the Rope, I think is what it's called. That one's become popular, and there's another one, and I don't know the name of it, but it's like, I guess Doodle Jump, I think is what it's called.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those, like, on a console that makes sense, you know? You know, Angry Birds... Angry Birds didn't come out on the DS for the longest time, and you would think that with the technology and everything that would be one of the first things you would go to for a game like Angry Birds.
Right.
But let's put it into context, because on the mobile phone you play Angry Birds, you know, you use the touchscreen to, you know, launch the birds, you know, into the pigs and whatnot. Makes sense. You put it on a console, like they had it for PSP. I think that's one of the first console games that it came out on. It was not the same experience. The controls were too sensitive, so like I would pull back and they would, like, you know, they would go back too fast, and I wouldn't be able to launch them properly. So it wasn't a fun experience, you know. So
I wouldn't think so.
I think it really just depends on the game itself, and unfortunately the only one that does come to mind, the main one that comes to mind is Angry Birds. There are a few, you know, but when I think about them, they're all like the older titles. I haven't seen one here recently, correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen one recently that has become as big as these old games, you know, kind of like back in the 80s, you know, I wouldn't say the big three or anything like that, but, you know, the systems had like their big titles, you know, Zelda, Mario, you got Sonic on the Genesis, you know, systems like that. Even PlayStation had Crash Bandicoot, a series which I despise, by the way.
But he'll be coming up in another topic soon. Trust me.
But yeah, they, you know, I guess every platform has their, you know, has their memorable titles. So I can't rule cell phone games out. But at the same time, with all these, I guess they call it shovelware on the Wii. So I'll refer to that on the phone. All these shovelware titles that come out on the cell phone, it's so hard to pinpoint something now, whereas before it was just a little easier because it's a little more fresh, you know, because of all the games I can remember that are memorable titles on the, you know, on the phone, they would be Angry Birds, the ones I mentioned, Angry Birds, Doodle Jump, Cut the Rope, and oh my god, I can't remember I can't even remember the other name because I don't play it much, but it's the Fruit Ninja.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. And that's about it. And the only reason I even mention Pac-Man 256 is because it's Pac-Man, but that already existed before the, you know, mobile phone.
Yeah. So do you think, and I'm sure this question probably answers itself, that mobile games are basically kind of following the same path that video games had followed kind of when they began? Because it seems like any game that's come out for the phones right now, which let's just say we're still kind of at the beginning of smartphones. I don't think we're quite in the middle of that generation. We're still in the beginning, at least as far as mobile games are concerned. They all are, just like you said, very arcadey and quick. They're very much like the games that we went to go play in the arcades when we were little. Your Galagas, your Q*berts, your Pac-Mans. Like, they're real quick, they're very pointless, they typically don't have stories, and it's just to see how far you can get.
Right. And that's more or less, like, because I don't see these games actually have an ending or whatnot, you know, it's just, they're just time killers. The only difference is that you're doing it on your phone as opposed to an arcade machine. Yeah.
And so I guess in that respect, some of them could last, I guess, because the way I always look back on it is like Mario Brothers. Like, you never forget your first time playing Mario Brothers. You never forget finding secrets, those vines that go up into the sky, finding warp zones, things like that. Like, you have memories of Mario Brothers, making Mario slide when he comes out of the pipe. Like, all those little weird things. All those, I still do it, like, just out of instinct now. Every time he comes out of the pipe, I try and make him slide. Like, I still have all those memories, and maybe I can't remember the specific day of when, those things happened, but the memories that it did happen is ingrained in me. Whereas playing Angry Birds, it's like, oh, I remember that time I shot the bird. Remember that time and all the stuff fell down? But I guess if I look at it like that, because it's like I have fond memories of your Galagas and things, but I don't have any specific fond memories like I do with Mario Brothers, and maybe that's just where phone games are at this moment.
Right. Well, I mean, it could be different for the younger generation. I mean, my son, one of the first games he played was Angry Birds. I wouldn't say it's the first, but
I think that's a lot of his generation's first game is Angry Birds because it's so simple.
Right.
A little kid with limited motor skills.
I will say as a game he played because, having a dad as a gamer, he's been watching me play Street Fighter since he was 2. When Street Fighter 4 came out, I mean, there were days where he would make me want to play the game when I didn't want to because he liked it so much. So but I mean, as far as playing goes, yeah, he played that, and I don't think it was until I got him Mario Kart on the DS that he really started playing games on the thing. Now he of course he's a lot older now, but he's playing he doesn't play many cell phone games or tablet games except for Minecraft, which he's obsessed with right now. And well, he doesn't plays Minecraft, but I mean, outside of that, he doesn't really play like Angry Birds anymore. I mean, I even had it for him on the DS, and he didn't want it on that system. He doesn't play it on that one anymore.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say they're as memorable. I mean, he'll play Super Mario Maker before he play Angry Bird.
Yeah, see, that's funny. And I've actually noticed a decline lately too in like kids with Angry Bird shirts on. I'm actually, again, starting to see an increase in kids wearing Mario Brothers shirts.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, especially with, I know that Super Mario Maker was a big seller last year, so it's, I would say that more people are probably, well, I don't know where I was going with that.
All right.
But I know that because it kind of contradicts the fact that the Wii U isn't selling well, but Super Mario Maker did sell very well. But I know that there was a lot of people that have picked it up, and it's just fun to play because you can play, wow, I sounded like I was trying to say classic, and I sounded like I was like, anyway.
Just keep on amusing yourself.
Exactly.
It's fine.
You can play different versions of Mario there. You can play if you're an old school gamer, you can play classic Super Mario Bros. If you liked Super Mario 3, you can play that version. My son just happens to do the modern version, the most modern version from New Super Mario Brothers. But because of the amiibo feature, he will play the classic one too, because you can do costume Marios, and the costumes only work on the original Mario Brothers format. So that was kind of smart what Nintendo did to attract kids to the older Mario games.
Right.
But the only fatal mistake I say they made, and I wouldn't say it's fatal, but I went back to Super Mario Brothers after playing Super Mario Maker, and it controls so differently.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah, like you don't think you can tell, like you think it's the same, but you go back to it and it controls differently. So I wouldn't say so much that kids will pick up unless they're really little and they don't kind of grasp that concept just yet. I would say that there are people the younger audience is more likely to fall back on and play the older Mario games, which is smart on Nintendo's behalf. But the older audience, they'll catch on. It's like, oh, this doesn't control the way I remember, because that's exactly what happened to me.
Wow.
So still fun.
Interesting.
But
right.
Yeah.
Okay. I find it odd that despite the fact that console games are let's just say superior, just for the time being. People can complain in the comment section if they want to. They're definitely better. They're more fun. They're more advanced. But the first game that looks like it may actually get a fairly successful movie is going to be Angry Birds.
Oh my god!
Because even I thought the trailer was kind of amusing.
Right.
But I think a lot of that stems from the fact that Angry Birds has got such a base, empty story that they were allowed to play with it a bit more and do more with it. Like they had more freedom because there was really nothing to work with, and so they kind of got to make everything from scratch.
Yeah, but then if you really think about it, they that was the same thing with Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers was Save the Princess, you know. And,
but there was a lot more there, I think.
Well, yeah.
I mean, as rudimentary as that story still was, it's still a quirky story about a couple of plumbers from Brooklyn who wind up in another world where everybody's been turned into things. And there's this big giant dragon who's captured the princess, and she's the only one that can turn her people back to normal. And so you got to go kill this dragon to release her so that she can save this kingdom that you didn't even live in. Like, that's already a much more convoluted story than these, I don't like these pigs and they steal our eggs.
Actually, it's been determined that, it's been proven, confirmed that Bowser is a turtle.
Whatever. He's a Koopa. That's what he is.
Yeah. Well, he's called Koopa in Japan, but I think you know that.
He's a Koopa. So that's what I'm going to call him.
But yeah, he
Turtles don't breathe fire.
I guess I can see where you're coming from on that. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying with the whole Angry Birds thing, but I don't know. Yeah, it could be a successful movie. I guess we'll see. I mean, we're talking about a game that's on the cell phone, so we're not looking at major console games. And I'm sure that was it Rovio? Is that the company that makes the game? Mm-hmm. I'm sure they were able to put a lot of input. Whereas before, I don't think a lot of companies had a lot of input in the movies that they were wanting, or if they were, they had some pretty incompetent people.
Give a crap. Of course, our video game movies also had the problematic issue of pretty much, almost positive, all of them have been live action, which then gets you directors with their own vision and script writers with their own vision, actors who don't give a shit about the source material. Pretty much all three of them typically don't give a crap about the source material. And so by the time you've come out with this movie, it is almost nothing like the game that it's based on, aside from a few little callbacks. Whereas Angry Birds is an animated movie. Most of the people that work on that are nerds. Pretty much all of them have cell phones. I'm going to guess the majority of them actually have iPhones, so they've probably been playing Angry Birds since the beginning. So they're already kind of familiar with what Angry Birds is, which isn't much. So in that way, Angry Birds is probably the worst video game-based movie ever made, because it's probably nothing like the game, because they have so much freedom to make it differently. And I'm just talking now.
Well,
I'm just going on and on.
Well, if it's successful, then maybe they'll learn what the formula is for that. But then again, it's such a broad. With that, it's such a broad area where you can do whatever you want with it. But other games have storylines they follow, and I get now. Before, when I was younger, and I wouldn't say younger like a kid. I mean, like a teenager or young adult. I couldn't understand, why don't they just follow it like the movies? But my friend made a good point. He's like, well, look at the comic book movies. Could you really imagine somebody wearing the yellow spandex and the mask of a Wolverine? That was
then. Now people are calling for that stuff.
Right, but
we're hoping to death that Hugh Jackman puts on a goddamn mask before he stops playing Wolverine, and he's only got one movie left to do it. Look at Deadpool. Look at Deadpool.
True.
He looks exactly like Deadpool to the point where his eyes even animate.
Right.
And Marvel has actually proved it, because that was really a Bryan Singer idea, and it was also a very early 2000s post-Matrix idea.
Right.
Where nobody wanted to see these bright, colorful suits. Like, we're all like 9 Inch Nails and Smashing Pumpkins, black trench coats, sunglasses at nighttime. Like, everybody wanted that look. And then Marvel came around, even though X-Men belongs to Marvel. Marvel came around and said, no, look, you can make these exactly the way they were in the comics. You can stay true to the original source material. And yes, people will actually go and see this. And we did.
Yeah. Still haven't seen that movie, by the way.
Which one?
Deadpool.
Oh my god.
I haven't had a chance. I've been so busy.
Man.
And the one day I was supposed to go see it, the plans were canceled. So, and it wasn't me who canceled them.
It's fine. But yeah.
So,
boy, no luck with the superhero movies lately, huh?
No, not at all. I'm starting to get a little annoyed about that, but then that's life. You know, I was hoping to talk about Batman vs. Superman today, and no such luck.
Oh, man. It's funny. One of the things I listen to is one of Kevin Smith's podcasts, and that guy is just a champion for everything Batman. Obviously, you know, he has a whole podcast about Batman. At least it used to be about Batman. Now it's just kind of about comic book stuff in general. But he is just like super positive about anything that's Batman. And they finally got around to talking about this movie, and he didn't have much nice to say. He was like, I saw it. I was like, oh, that is bad. When Kevin Smith can't even find something. Yeah, when he can't even find something positive to say about it, you know you're in trouble. One of his friends plays Batman, or at least, you know, one of his former friends.
Well, what did they have a falling out?
Yeah, he apparently, what's her name? Jennifer Gardner didn't like Kevin Smith, and so Ben Affleck pretty much stopped hanging out with him after he got married.
Oh, that's too bad because Jennifer Gardner's hot. But anyway,
doesn't mean she's not a bitch.
I know, but one can dream, right?
Nah. Way better things to dream about than her.
Jennifer Gardner, if you're listening, call me.
Yeah, you can call him. Leave a comment below. Thumbs up this video and subscribe.
Yeah, there you go.
He said, no, I just want to finish this. His specific comment was, despite what everybody was saying about Deadpool and how vulgar and gross it is, he would have felt better taking a 9-year-old to go see Deadpool than to go see Batman vs. Superman.
Wonderful. That's great because my son is 9 years old.
Not because of how gory it is, just because the story has like no moral, apparently. Really? Yeah, it's from what I've heard from a bunch of different sources, it's just a bunch of stuff that happens.
Wow. Well, yeah. I feel even before this, I feel like they're trying to rush to get this. And
it is exactly what you feel it is. Like all the fears we had from the trailers, it's apparently that's the way the movie is.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to save you the $23 or whatever it's going to cost you.
I know, but he's really
I'm
excited
just going to get Netflix to
it.
send it to me in a couple of months and watch it here. It's fine.
I'm sure he'll be like Chris Griffin, and he'll be like, how does Ben Affleck keep getting work?
Well, no. The other funny thing, though, is apparently he's actually the best thing about that movie.
That's what I heard. I heard
he does a really good Batman Bruce Wayne
for Daredevil.
Yeah, which again, that wasn't his fault for the most part. That was just a crappy movie. But yeah, he's the best thing about that movie.
Wow, that is sad.
So I want to see the action scenes. I just don't want to pay movie theater prices to see that.
I do, and I have a friend who he said that it would have been a little more worthwhile to see it if they did not do oh my god, the Doomsday reveal.
Yeah, maybe.
I heard it would have been a little more worthwhile if they had not done that.
I heard even if you didn't know it was coming, it was still fairly underwhelming.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. You made me completely forget what I was going to go for as far, or how do we get back into Batman vs. Superman?
I'm sorry, I tangented. I apologize. I need to find an outlet for these things.
Well, I mean, I know we were talking about video game movies and whatnot, but and then somehow
comic book movies. That's how we got to it.
And we got the comic book movies, but then we also
spandex.
Okay, so yeah, we're talking about the colors and everything like that, and the look of the movie.
Like staying true to the source material.
Right. Okay, you know what? I don't play this series very often, and then this movie gets panned a lot, and I don't understand why. But again, you're talking to the guy who's partial to a lot of things, so let me just reiterate that.
You're the Kevin Smith of this show. Go ahead.
I liked Prince of Persia.
I never saw it. No, I tried to watch it and I fell asleep.
I hope it's because you were tired.
Yes. No, well, both.
Well, I enjoyed it mainly. I've only played what games have I played? I've only played Sands of Time, Two Thrones, and that cell shaded one, the cell shaded Prince of Persia, which was just called Prince of Persia.
Yeah, those are pretty much the same ones I played.
But it more or less.
I have those first two.
Yeah, well, Two Thrones was actually the third one in the series. So
no, those first two that you mentioned.
Oh, the first two that I mentioned. Okay, yeah. I got to test Two Thrones. That was pretty fun. Anyway, God, where was I going with this? The source material.
Staying true to the source material.
I felt it did. I felt it was pretty well paced and whatnot, and the fact that Disney produced it and everything, and I think they did a pretty good job of trying to at least keep the source material in mind. You want to know what movie pissed me off that didn't follow the source material at all?
What's that?
Fucking Final Fantasy Spirits Within.
Oh no! I don't want to talk about that.
No. We are talking about it. We are talking about it. It's a video game movie.
Talk about it.
It is a video game movie.
It's barely a movie.
And
even more barely Final Fantasy.
That pisses me off is they were riding on the whole Final Fantasy VII thing.
Yeah, thanks Final Fantasy VII. I'll never get that money back.
The only thing that they kept consistent besides just the name was that there was a Sid in there. And even that they didn't get right because they spelled his name with an S. Okay. It's supposed to be with a C.
It was Donald Sutherland.
And even
He's
with
got
this
a very
new
melty voice.
New game, Final Fantasy 15, they still have a Sid. It's a female this time, but Sydney, clever. But they still kept
C, though?
Sid. With
a C?
Yeah, still spelled with a C.
That's fine.
I'm
actually surprised we haven't had a female Sid up until now.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought of that up until that point, and I'm actually impressed that they did that. But going back to the movie, it just made no sense. Okay, why are you doing this? Okay, I would have been. You know what? That movie would have been 10 times better for me if there was a chocobo in the movie, but they didn't even have that.
Nope.
Or even a reference to the fanfare. So
how about a sword?
Or a
Can
sword.
somebody have a sword in this damn movie?
Yeah, but no. We had to ride on the Final Fantasy VII train.
No magic. There was, the world was magical, but nobody actually was a magician.
Right. It was just, it was just bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, I almost shut off the whole podcast.
Oh, don't do that, please. God, this has been cold so far.
Right. Anyway, but yeah, no, that movie pissed me off in that sense. At the time, did I like it? I fooled myself into liking that movie.
I definitely came out of that theater going, what the hell did I just watch? And why did you guys make me come and watch this?
I was in complete denial. I was like, it was good for a movie, because I also did try to keep in mind that every Final Fantasy at the time, this was before they did all the sequels to their games and whatnot. Every Final Fantasy was different. So I'm like, okay, I will view this as a different Final Fantasy movie, but why did they have to go after Final Fantasy VII?
Right. I know. Yeah.
I know. It was just so disappointing. Like, everybody gives shit about Super Mario Brothers or whatnot, where I guess now it's I guess it's a cult following because everyone likes to rag on it so much. But I guess, okay, I take it back. I understand it because Final Fantasy, was it Spirits Within, is one of those movies that are so bad you can't even find anything funny about it.
Yeah, it's not even so bad it's good. It's just terrible. This is nothing enjoyable about it. It's not like Monos the Hands of Fate or anything. Like there's nothing to work with there.
Right.
The movie and the characters are just completely devoid of life. The whole movie is lacking a soul, much like the eyes of those characters.
Well, and wasn't that the whole thing of the movie? Like these things were like keep taking their souls or whatnot.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's right.
How do we know that their souls weren't taken already? And
you tapped onto some. Maybe that's the secret of the movie. You found out how to make it enjoyable. That's the secret plot twist that you had to look within to find.
There we go.
I'm gonna have to rewatch this now. Rewatch this with Maverick eyes.
The secret to the movie was that there were no spirits within. But yeah, no, that's one of those movies that, another. Okay, let's get off the Final Fantasy one because I'm gonna get pissed. But okay, another movie that was based on video games that I did enjoy were the Tomb Raider movies. Now, I have to say I like this from the outside looking in because I didn't get into Tomb Raider until very late in the game. Like I didn't get into Tomb Raider until Tomb Raider Legends came out, and that was years after what was the one that flopped, the Angel of Darkness. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're the reason why the first one did so well.
Quite possibly. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I wasn't big into Tomb Raider. I hated the controls. When I don't know if it was Tomb Raider 1 or 2 that I tried to play, and at the very beginning I get killed by a tiger, and I was like, I give up.
Yeah. I mean, the first one, at least it was enjoyable. It wasn't the Spirits Within.
Right.
It was what it needed to be, which was basically a stupid, summer popcorn movie. And it did that. It did that fine. And, casting Angelina Jolie was a stroke of genius.
Right.
So, like, it was good. I didn't see the second one, and from what I've heard, I'm glad I didn't. But I mean, the first one was serviceable. It was okay.
The second one wasn't bad either, but I mean, it definitely wasn't the first movie.
Yeah.
Was it Cradle of Life? Was it the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was a bad movie. But then again, everybody expects something. I've come to accept that game movies will go into a different direction. I mean, look at the Resident Evil. Oh, there's another one. The Resident Evil movies.
That's a whole other topic for a whole other topic. That's another one on the list. Games on the big screen. Games on the big screen. We're definitely having that one.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably have to expand on it because there's so many movies to talk about. But, I mean,
not tonight.
We're definitely expanding on it tonight.
I meant that's a whole other episode. I'm gonna, you know what? Head it up to here with your sass, sir.
I have to have it there sometime, right? So, anyway, sorry, I just figured out what the clicking sound was.
Oh, great! Now I know how to edit it out.
It's this.
See? Yeah. Mystery solved. Your asthma strikes again for a second episode.
Yeah, this time I'm just playing with the inhaler as opposed to last week when I actually needed it.
Oh, jeez. At least we figured that one out. She's another one actually who crossed over to she went cross-platform onto mobile.
Tomb Raider or Lara Croft?
Yeah, and made a successful game. Tomb Raider Go, I believe is what it's called. It's kind of based off the engine of the Hitman Go game.
I've not played either.
It's actually doing really well. It's funny how a lot of these franchises are now moving over, and they're actually doing well reimagining their games, which I think is a good way to do it.
This is
rather
true.
than just porting.
Right, because then because like some people not rag on the Sonic. I think it's called Sonic Dash because it's basically just what's that game called, Temple Run or something like that.
Temple Run.
It's
I've actually heard good things about Sonic Dash.
Was it Sonic? I don't know. I hear some people bash on it, but I actually liked it. And it was an original mobile game, and that's like, okay, and that's something I can see Nintendo doing with their characters, is like doing original games like that. But they're so protective of their franchises,
right? Like something like crap. What was that game that came out with a few months ago? The NES Remix.
Yeah.
Like something like that would be good for mobile, or like a WarioWare game, like an original WarioWare would be good.
Yeah, one thing. I don't know if I want to. I don't
give
know
them
if
any
I
ideas.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I want to justify microtransactions on this, but like NES Remix, I could be wrong on this, but I could see that being a microtransaction game. Like, I mean,
buying new remixed games for it?
But like, if they set their prices to something reasonable, which we know they won't do it, they wouldn't do it.
No.
You could just buy certain sets, and maybe it's just me again. I'm not condoning it or anything like that, or condoning doing this or anything like that. But when I had the game had the game for the 3DS, and I enjoyed it, but at the same time, it was a little overwhelming, and I felt like I got through a lot of it too fast, and it kind of left me wanting more. And I mean, and there probably is a lot more, but like I felt like I was getting through it too fast, and yeah, I still wanted to try to get the best high score and everything, but once I got through a lot of the challenges, I was like, okay, so I could see that being something more of like,
it would justify
on a phone. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do this on a 3DS. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
on a phone, it would justify like an expansion pack, basically adding more games.
Right. So I would justify something like that. I hope to God they don't do it, but I would understand it, and it would make sense, because on the game on a 3DS, you actually unlock all this stuff. So
yeah. No, I would buy into that. That would make sense. I mean, still make a base game with a bunch of stuff on it that already comes with the game. And then, yeah, you can have expansions after that. Like, I'm still okay with expansion packs.
Right.
In games and in mobile. That I don't mind still. It's the charging for all the other shit that you should just get anyways. Extra colors. New costumes. Capcom is the guiltiest of the guilty for this. But like, new characters who, like the way Skullgirls did it, where they had the full game and then later on they released new characters. Like, that's fine. It's not like I don't want to hear about companies like pre-planning characters that they want to have be DLC. Like Skullgirls went as far as to make it a vote as to which characters become DLC. Like it was not planned out that much in advance.
Right. Now, speaking of which, did you hear that there's supposed to be like a new Skullgirls game coming out?
They're not making a new Skullgirls game. They're making an RPG, not based on Skullgirls.
Are you sure? Because it's it's okay. I was like, Skullgirls Encore roars onto.
Oh, it's coming out PS Vita, I believe.
PS Vita, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm shocked because the Vita's all but dead.
Yeah, but like they had promised they were going to make it, and so they kept true to their promise. I mean, those guys stick to their word over there at Lab Zero, man.
Yeah, you gotta appreciate that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The Vita itself, I wonder if I'll be able to do this on Vita TV, because I currently am Vita-less right now.
You are less Vita.
More or less, but I mean, I have the PlayStation TV, but my only problem with that is, first of all, they never fixed Netflix for that program. They were supposed to fix it days after they released it, and they never did it.
I wouldn't know. I just have regular Netflix.
No, yeah, well, it's just a little annoying because it's a little convenient to not have to switch between if you're going to do that right away. But yeah, they They're supposed to be coming out with a second Skullgirls game, the Skullgirls game on Vita.
Right. Yeah. That's coming out. But they're also making a turn-based RPG right now. I think they're trying to kickstart that. So anybody that likes Skullgirls, you want to support an indie developer kind of making everything in-house, go seek out Lab Zero Games on Kickstarter. Or is it Indiegogo? I think it's Indiegogo. They did Indiegogo last time too. So
could be Indiegogo. By the way, listeners, if you're looking,
find them out if you like those guys. Give them some money.
If you're looking for a PlayStation TV, I saw it for $50 over at Fry's. So,
get your deals now.
Not trying to promote Fry's or anything. I just happened to see it there. They're on clearance, so I was
I'm hoping I can stop by Fry's on my way back from Dave & Buster's.
But you might want to do it on the way to Dave & Buster's.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Yeah.
I really wish they'd open one up here.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked that they don't have Dave & Buster's up anywhere near
in the
San
East
Francisco.
Bay. Yeah, not even in the East Bay. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of like Walmart out there. It's not out here. Out here, Walmart's on every block.
Yeah, no, but I at least have 2 Walmarts close to me, not a single Fry's.
Are you serious?
I mean, close is relative. Not like outside of California close, but they're close compared to Fry's, which I have to. This is an all-day trip to go to Fry's, but
I just happen to be lucky and live near a Fry's, but unfortunately, since finances have sucked lately, my trips to Fry's have been far, far, far less frequent.
Yeah, that's just fine. We all got to save money at times.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's this thing called adulting we have to do. So
adulting. That's new termed. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Mobile games for me are still kind of touchy. Like, I never really got into Angry Birds. I think I do have kind of a snobby impression of it, so that doesn't help. But I did.
You have a snobby impression of a lot of things.
I do. F the world. Well, like I did have Angry Birds Star Wars, which, I just had to have it because it was Star Wars, I guess.
Yeah.
But even that, I don't play, I don't have any games on my phone right now, and I don't count MiiTomo as a game because it really isn't. I had recently got a Disney game called Magic Kingdoms, which is just another one of those build this thing and wait games. I'm surprised they're still making these.
Oh god, yeah, I know.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Kind of like what's this game? I had a coworker who played this game. What's that one that they're always Clash of Clans?
It's probably like Clash of Clans. Like this one holds your hand the entire time. Like, we need to get more people into the park. Send Mickey to go think about how to get people to the park. And then you just push on Mickey and then push on go think about things to do in the park. And that takes him like 2 hours. And then he comes back and he's like, all right, I thought about stuff. I think I should build a ride. You should build a ride. Build this one specific ride. And then you build the ride. And then that ride takes another hour to build. You know, like these games? You know these games? Like the whole selling point of this game was that you could like build the Disneyland or the Disney theme park of your dreams. But good God, I hope your dreams take like 2 years because unless you want to spend more money on this game, that's how long it's going to take you.
That's what they're hoping for, though. They want you to put in all this money so that you can go ahead and
yeah. It's so worthless. Or the other one that was exactly the same game that I tried to get into because I liked the license, just like this one, was the Simpsons Tapped Out. Exact same game. Just it was God. Simpsons.
Are you saying the same concept?
Literally the same concept, except you're rebuilding Springfield.
That's crazy. Yeah, I had a friend who recommended that I download this game. And I never got to play it because I downloaded it, and I swear I waited literally like 2 days, and it was still downloading all these updates, and I was like, are you kidding me?
The Simpsons game?
Yeah, it's like, what version of this game did I download at first?
It's worthless. We played that. There was another one that I keep getting sucked into these games, and then I don't realize what I'm playing until I'm playing them. There was this other game that looked really cool to me because it was all really hand drawn. It was called Idol Worship, but not IDOL, IDLE worship. And you basically take over this island of these little mud people who worship you as a god, and so you have to build all this stuff to make them happy.
Right.
Literally the exact same stupid game. I don't know how I keep winding up with these games. Like, they all look cool in the pictures because they always got really nice art, all these games. The art's always very nice looking, and they always display very nicely in the app stores. And then you download them, and it's the exact same game. Oh, you've got a guy here. This guy needs a home. Build him a home. And then you build the home. And all right, you built him a home. Now get him some friends. Make a friend. And you make a friend. Like, you don't do anything. You're just pushing buttons and collecting things. Oh, the other one I got into, more or less the same thing, a little bit more funny just because it had quirky humor, was Fallout Shelter.
Oh, God.
Which, again, at least this one, it did kind of the same thing that MiiTomo did, which is basically just kind of keeping Fallout at the top of your mind leading up to the release. Because basically they announced Fallout 4 at E3 last year, and then they said that it was coming out of November the same year. But in between that time, they're going to release this mobile game called Fallout Shelter, and it's available right now. They did one of those things where it's like, as of this press conference, it is now available kind of thing. But it's the same thing. You're building your own little shelter. You're bringing people in. You're giving them little clothes. It has a bit more resource management to it, and it has some quirky humor, and that's what I liked about it. But in the end, it was the same thing. Build a room, put people in the room, make them do things, buy them clothes, and then build another room, and there's no real, like, point to it. I kept playing up until even past the release of Fallout 4 because I was hoping that maybe, like, doing one thing in one game would affect the other game, but no, they don't have anything to do with each other.
I see. Well, my recommendation for that, buy Animal Crossing.
I don't have a Nintendo. I don't like those games, is what I'm saying.
I know, but I'm just saying, if you're playing those, I would buy Animal Crossing, because that's pretty much what those games are. I'm not gonna.
At least all these games that I've mentioned, they're all free so far.
Right.
I haven't been spending any money.
Well, yeah, because they're trying to coax you into spending money, of course.
Right. Well, that's the one thing I don't do.
Even Pac-Man 256 has microtransactions on it.
But you're at least playing a game, though, right?
Right, exactly. Here's the thing, and it's, I have patience. I don't know about other, but surprisingly, I have patience in this game, which, because, okay, in the game, there's if you want to play the game and not have to worry about microtransactions, you can play it without any power boosts and just see how you can get the game there. But you're given 6 credits. Namco, I hope you're not listening to this because I don't want to give you any ideas. Anyway, so then you use up all your credits and you can't play with the power-ups anymore. But you can still play the game without the power-ups, which is still just as fun.
That sounds kind of similar to what they did with Pac-Man tournaments.
Yeah, I've not played that one, but yeah, they they'll do that, and then if you want to, you can slowly earn your coins in order to boost your power-ups.
Yeah,
and once you do, you can, if you don't want to wait, you can go ahead and pay like $5 and they'll give you like all these coins, or you can just wait and earn them. And honestly, well, they help the game. I'm more focused on trying to figure out how to get the high score, because I've noticed that the power-ups don't do too much. There's only one power-up I've noticed that really works as far as obtaining a high score, and it took me a month because I lost everything. Thank you, Namco. The first time, it took me a month, but I was able to build up enough coins so that I can boost this thing up to level 8 in like one day. Took a couple of hours, and I have to watch the ads and everything, but it's 30 seconds of my life. I'm not going to die. I don't even pay attention to the ads. I play it, then I go down and I go get something to drink or something. And that's more or less it. They make a game fun whether or not you get these power-ups or not. And that's why I can appreciate about it. It's free. Yes, you can pay money. There are other things like, okay, you can put a skin on the game so you can play it as like, you know, it has its own, you know, graphical tile set and everything like that, but you can skin it and make it look like the old Pac-Man, you know, just with an isometric view. Or you can make it, what was the other one? I think you can make it look neon colored or something like that. It's like $1 or something like that. You know, with not having to worry about spending on so much to get far in the game, I'd be willing to do that. I haven't done it, but I'd be willing to do it just because, you know, it's like a little, what's the word? Not incentive. What's the word I'm looking for? It's just a little
extra perk. Bonus perk. Yeah. Sure.
It's just a little perk that, I'm willing to pay for this because I don't want to spend, you know, I'm not spending money on anything else.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, but then there's some games, I heard on, I haven't played it, I haven't even looked on it, but I heard it on the CU podcast a couple of months ago, that there was a game that EA had. It was a Need for Speed.
Oh, yeah. This is the gasoline thing?
Yeah, you had to pay for gas.
Because we already love doing that in real life. Why not simulate it?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I don't...
That sounds like such an executive idea.
It does.
Like, just a suit came down, and he's like, you know what I think would be a great idea to monetize this game? Let's have people pay for gas. That'd be like a great simulation. It makes complete sense, right? Your car just doesn't want to work without gas. Get to it, program monkey.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm going back to my hot tub.
I don't know. I mean, some of this microtransaction shit just gets out of hand and it pisses me off. I mean, I can understand it on some aspects, like I said. You know, my son right now has he has the Minecraft story mode, which we paid full price for the game. So you know, it was like $30, but he gets like 5 episodes he can download.
Yeah.
And so we just found out today that they're going to be releasing 3 more episodes, and he's pretty excited about it, but they're going to cost separate. But then it's like, okay, I understand that, because initially it was only supposed to be, from what I understand, it was only supposed to be 5 episodes to begin with. So if they're trying to be sneaky that way, haha, good job, you guys won on that one. But
it's not so much sneaky. Yeah, it's not so much sneaky. That's just the model that they've created, because they did the same thing with Walking Dead.
Right, and it's the same company that made that game.
That's what I'm saying. They did the same thing. They made Walking Dead. Originally, it was 5 episodes for first season, and then they came out with, I believe it's called Walking Dead 900 Days, which was an extra 3 episodes that really didn't have much to do with those first 5 seasons. They were more of first 5 episodes. They were more of like a side story.
Right.
And you bought them separately, I believe.
So yeah, there's well, but I mean, I wouldn't mind paying for the. He's enjoying them, and you know, I don't know how. I was just watching my son play this game tonight, so I'm going going on a tangent. That's what this podcast is about.
Is it really?
It is. Oh. 10 episodes later, and we haven't figured that out yet.
That's what we should call it.
Yeah, 10 episodes later. Okay.
Yes.
So he's playing this Minecraft. Spoilers for anybody who hasn't played this game. I have
Minecraft spoilers.
I have absolutely no idea what's going on in this game, but it was kind of, they make these really dramatic moments of this game, and there's this one, I don't know what's going on, but this guy has a pet pig or something like that, and they were fighting this giant monster, and the pig ends up falling like Lord knows how many feet to the ground, and then so does the guy, and somehow he survives. But the pig, on the other hand, he's dying. And
from the fall?
It was such a dramatic scene, and I was actually feeling for the character. I was like, oh my god, this is actually really sad, you know?
Oh, little piggy.
And you're feeling for the you're feeling for this little pig and everything, and you know, I gotta admit, I even had a little tear coming down my eye. I mean, it was that sad. Okay. Like, and and keep in mind, I don't even know what the hell is going on, right? And then he dies. And I'm like,
Son,
oh,
is the piggy gonna die, son?
okay, he dies. I'm like, oh, that is so sad. And all of a sudden, poof, and he turns into a piece of meat, like in the game.
It's like, yeah, of course.
And then all of a sudden, my sadness just turned into, what the what just happened? I'm like,
you gotta counteract it with some levity.
I turned to my son and I'm like, hijo, why did he turn into a piece of meat? And he's like, oh, that's what happens in the game.
Oh, Dad, you're so out of it.
Which is funny because, you know, when he was playing this one time before, and he actually played through the scene already, and I knew that somebody had died. I didn't know that this was a scene he was playing out because I just woken up and he goes, "What?" Like that. Like even he was shocked at the whole thing, but like, he was even shocked that he turned into a piece of meat. You know? No,
that's normal, of course, in the world of Minecraft.
But I was actually watching it this time, and I was like, "Wow, this is really dramatic and really sad." And he turned into pork. So yeah.
Yes, there you have it, folks.
Mm-hmm. I will say, okay, that scene was legitimately sad. Like I was pretty repressed with the drama on that one scene, and then for it to just get shat on by that pig turning into
pork chop.
Yeah,
don't leave me. Don't leave me.
I can't even remember the pig's name, but it wasn't anything piggy.
Go towards the light. Yes. Mama Pig's there. She's waiting for you. Go, little pig. That'll do. That'll do, pig.
Step into the grinding machine. So yeah,
I wish I had some applesauce right now. It tastes so good.
You know, though.
Alright, I'm done.
You know, though, after that scene happened and then he turned into the piece of meat, I half expected this guy to just collect it like an item.
Just do.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he did hold it and everything, and I'm just like, why isn't it not disappearing? You know?
Because that's what happens in the game.
Right, exactly. Video game logic, everybody.
Yeah, just hold him.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, when I found out it was Telltale Games, I was like, okay, this explains everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's a great Dorkly video called what is it? Telltale Games: The Walking Koopas, and it's Super Mario Brothers and
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead. You have to watch it. It's pretty funny.
All right. So I think we've drawn yet another conclusion. another question successfully answered. Here in Fourth 2 forever.
Can Minecraft be dramatic? Yes.
To the Pantheon. Oh, that meant the other one about mobile games.
Yeah, see how long that kept our attention.
I know, right? I mean, I guess we'll see where things go. Well, like I said, I guess the arcadiness of a mobile game is not enough to hold me. Like, I've got other things I could do on my phone that I would rather do, like draw or tweet or MiiTomo. I don't know. I don't count MiiTomo as a game. It's definitely like a communication app. It's just a cute communication app.
Right. Well, I'm sure once I get into it, I'm going to be feeling the same way.
That's fine. I mean, it's not as much of a time suck once you realize that if you're on it all day, you're actually kind of wasting. It's a bit of a waste because you get coins for answering questions, but there's only a limited amount of coins you can get in a day. Right. So if you're still answering questions and not getting any coins for it, like you're already wasting your time, you might as well just wait till the next day. That's my hack. That's my MiiTomo hack.
I've been answering these questions for 24 hours and all I got was 3 coins. Yeah,
like stop. Just wait till tomorrow. No, they're pretty generous with the coins.
I see.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't play much else. Like every now and then I'll find a game that catches my fancy for a little bit, like Fallout Shelter, and I'll put it on my phone for a little while. but then it's gone after a few months. Even Fallout Shelter's gone, and I liked that game for a while. I will delete them all eventually. Like, no game stays on my phone forever.
Right.
It's never happened. I have like a throwaway tablet that I use as my Chromecast controller now in the living room. That's got some games on it, mostly for the kids. But like, right. I never play games on it ever.
I see.
I guess I'm not there. It's just, I don't know. And it's funny because I like arcadey games, like all those games we used to play a long time ago. But these just, for the most part, they don't hold my interest too long. Like Angry Birds, after I got the hang of it, like, okay, I get it.
Right.
I get it. Okay, we're done. What's the other one that I would play? Where's My Water? Like, okay, I get it.
Oh, the Disney
Get the
game.
water to him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't play any of those games. One last thing on the Angry Birds. I myself got into the game, and I was playing it for a while, and then they kind of changed the way things were done in the game.
Oh, like, you know how we feel about change.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I was totally against it. No, but it's like the way in which it changed. Kind of like, I kind of like, okay, well, I don't care to play this anymore.
Yeah, I just I didn't get it. And then for me, I'm one of those people that I can be overhyped, and if something doesn't live up to those expectations, I'll shit on it more.
Well,
so that was Angry Birds for me. Like, it wasn't like, I thought it was okay, but I was just like, what's the big deal? And so that made me not play it even more.
Right.
That's how I feel.
Excuse me.
You're fading out. We're all fading out.
Yeah, for those that don't know, we do this podcast at midnight, so
like most good podcasts.
Exactly. So
don't worry.
Please excuse the tiredness. I'm more tired than usual. I'm more of a nocturnal person, but I've actually slept normal the last couple of days. So
really, I'd say you were pretty on point today. You were pretty good. You were on a tear for a little while.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because we got into Final Fantasy Spirits Within. God.
If y'all think that Maverick was on a tear, be sure to thumbs up and like this video. Subscribe, share it with your friends.
You better do it.
I'm practicing.
All right.
Getting ready for them YouTube times.
And I want names of people who will actually like this movie. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no. But seriously, we hope that you have been enjoying the show. We plan to keep on bringing you more and more. So if you like listening to us discuss, please keep on listening. As always, you can find us on SoundCloud at / the cross platform. You can also finally find the show on YouTube as well. On YouTube, we are youtube.com / cross platform show. Unfortunately, but that's the name I had to choose. Anyways, if either of those two formats don't work for you, you can always tweet at us at CrossPlatShow on the Twitters. Join our Facebook page, facebook.com / I believe that one's also the cross platform.
Good job.
I'm not on the Facebook page all that much. That's Maverick's deal. He's supposed to take care of that.
I know. You picked the wrong week to bestow that on me. Go on.
Well, figure it out, sir. Did I hit? Oh, and also, you can always email comments, so show suggestions and anything else like that over at crossplatformshow@gmail.com. Anyways, this has been the Cross Platform Show. Please download us on your phones and build a house.
Yes, do that.
It'll take 2 hours.
Or just play Pac-Man.
3 blue crystals, 2 super rare red crystals, or you could spend $5 and have the house built now.
Or you play Pac-Man 256 and not have to worry about a lot of this stuff.
Play Pac-Man, folks. Can't go wrong with Pac-Man. All right, we're out.
We are out.
Peace.
Oh, sorry.